The bold and the beautiful, a tangled web of love, betrayal, and revenge in the world of the bold and the beautiful. Few storylines have captured the complexities of love, heartbreak, and revenge as poignantly as the turbulent relationship between Brooke Logan, Ridge Forrester, and Nick Marone. Brooke, caught in the crossfire of her own emotions, finds herself at a crossroads between two men she deeply cares about. Her rejection of Nick's heartfelt proposal, followed by a passionate reunion with Ridge, sets off a chain of events that not only tears apart relationships, but also fuels a desire for vengeance that threatens to consume everyone involved. What begins as a simple matter of unresolved feelings escalates into a drama of epic proportions as love and betrayal collide, forcing all three characters into a dangerous dance of passion, guilt, and retribution. The story begins with Brooke's painful decision to reject Nick's proposal, despite the love and commitment he offers her. Nick, unable to understand why she can't fully commit to him, finds himself hurt and rejected, but it's Brooke's internal struggle that truly drives the drama. As she grapples with her lingering feelings for Ridge, she finds herself caught in an emotional whirlwind that leads her straight back into Ridge's arms. This impulsive decision, however, has consequences far beyond the bedroom, as Taylor, Ridge's former wife, makes a shocking discovery that threatens to unravel everything. The tension between the three characters escalates rapidly, with Nick vowing to get back at Brooke and Ridge for what they've done. His desire for revenge grows stronger, and he embarks on a dangerous path that could not only hurt those he cares about, but also destroy the fragile peace between the Forrester and Marone families. Brooke's rejection of Nick's proposal is a defining moment in the storyline, as it marks a significant emotional conflict that Brooke has struggled with for years. Nick, a man who has always been steadfast in his love for her, cannot understand why Brooke cannot fully embrace the life he envisions for them. He offers her everything: commitment, stability, and a love that is unconditional, but it is not enough to make her forget the passion and history she shares with Ridge. Her lingering feelings for Ridge, despite the pain he has caused her in the past, are undeniable. This inner turmoil creates an emotional battle within Brooke, who, on one hand, wants to move forward with Nick, but, on the other, cannot seem to let go of the connection she shares with Ridge. When Brooke rejects Nick, she is not just rejecting a proposal, she is rejecting the future that Nick has carefully planned for them, a future that would have given her security and stability. Yet, the moment she turns him down, Brooke begins to feel the weight of her decision. She cannot shake the feeling that she is still in love with Ridge, and it is this unresolved longing that drives her into Ridge's arms. Despite her commitment to Nick, despite the promises she has made, Brooke is unable to deny the magnetic pull she feels towards Ridge. The reunion between Brooke and Ridge is intense and passionate, driven by a mixture of guilt, desire, and an overwhelming need for closure. The moment they come together is charged with emotion, and for Brooke, it feels like a moment of redemption, a way to undo the mistakes of the past. However, this decision to reignite their physical connection is not without its consequences. What Brooke does not anticipate is that Taylor, Ridge's ex-wife and a woman who has always been deeply invested in his life, will discover them together. Taylor, who has always had a complicated relationship with both Ridge and Brooke, is devastated by the sight of them in bed together. Taylor's heartbreak is not just about the betrayal of her ex-husband, it is also about the deep emotional wound that Brooke has caused her. Taylor, who has struggled to move on from Ridge for years, sees this as the ultimate betrayal, a final blow to any hope she might have had of winning Ridge back. The discovery sends shockwaves through the already tense relationship between the three of them, and what follows is an explosive confrontation that reveals just how much unresolved pain and anger exist beneath the surface. For Taylor, this is more than just a personal betrayal. It is the culmination of years of rivalry with Brooke, a rivalry that has never truly ended. Taylor has always felt that she was the one who truly understood Ridge, the one who was meant to be with him. Seeing him with Brooke again, after all the heartbreak they have both caused each other, triggers a powerful emotional reaction in Taylor. Her anger is palpable, and the confrontation that follows is charged with deep emotion and regret. Nick, who has been on the sidelines, watching as his love for Brooke is torn apart by her connection to Ridge, is unable to stand by and do nothing. His pain and frustration are compounded by the fact that he has been rejected by Brooke in favor of Ridge, a man who has already hurt her so many times. Nick, a man who has always had a strong sense of loyalty and honor, cannot accept this betrayal without consequences. His desire for revenge begins to take shape, and Nick sets his sights on making Brooke and Ridge pay for what they've done. However, Nick's plans for revenge are not just about inflicting emotional pain on them. They are about challenging the foundation of their relationship and the assumptions they have about each other. Nick, feeling both rejected and betrayed, decides that the best way to hurt Brooke is by targeting the one thing that has always kept her connected to Ridge, their bond. His revenge, however, is not just a way to strike back at them, it is a way for him to regain control of his life. By targeting Ridge and Brooke, Nick hopes to regain some of the power and agency he feels he has lost in their drama. As Nick's plans for revenge begin to take shape, the tension between the three characters grows. Nick's actions are calculated and deliberate, designed to provoke a reaction from both Brooke and Ridge. He begins to subtly sow discord between them, using every opportunity to manipulate the situation to his advantage. He plays on their insecurities, using their history to fuel the fire of conflict. For Ridge, the situation is particularly difficult, as he is torn between his love for Brooke and the loyalty he feels toward Taylor. The emotional weight of the situation is overwhelming, and Ridge finds himself caught in the middle of a battle that he never intended to be a part of. As Nick's manipulation intensifies, Ridge must navigate a minefield of emotions and relationships, all while trying to maintain a sense of control. For Brooke, the situation is even more complicated. Her feelings for Ridge have always been intense and consuming, but she knows that they are fraught with pain and betrayal. She is constantly torn between her love for him and the hurt he has caused her in the past. Now, with Nick plotting his revenge and Taylor's anger simmering beneath the surface, Brooke finds herself trapped in a web of emotions that she cannot escape. Every decision she makes seems to lead her deeper into conflict, and she is unsure how to navigate the complicated relationships that now define her life. As the story continues to unfold, it becomes clear that the consequences of Brooke, Ridge, and Nick's actions will not be easily undone. The tension between the three of them reaches a breaking point, and the battle for love, loyalty, and revenge will only intensify. In a world where emotions run high and love is both a gift and a curse, the bold and the beautiful continues to deliver drama at its finest, showing just how fragile relationships can be when trust, betrayal, and revenge collide. Each move they make could shift the balance of their lives forever, and the story is far from over. The web of love and betrayal that binds them together will only become more tangled, and the consequences of their actions will haunt them for years to come. The explosive emotions and dramatic confrontations are sure to leave fans on the edge of their seats, eager to see how this epic love triangle will unfold. The bold and the beautiful. Ridge's emotional conflict and the Forrester family's turmoil **** in the bold and the beautiful, love, guilt, and responsibility often collide. And few storylines encapsulate this more than the intense emotional conflict that Ridge Forrester faces after his passionate night with Brooke Logan. Ridge's internal struggle is at the heart of a drama that threatens to unravel his life and the stability of his family. This pivotal moment, filled with desire and uncertainty, leaves Ridge torn between the woman he has always loved and the family he has built with Taylor Hayes. As the emotional stakes rise, Ridge finds himself trapped between two worlds, each offering a different path but also bringing its own consequences. The aftermath of this night with Brooke is not just about romance or rekindled passion. It is a deeply personal crisis that forces Ridge to confront his feelings, his responsibilities, and ultimately, the future of his family. The story begins with Ridge and Brooke reuniting in a moment of undeniable chemistry. Despite the pain and history that exists between them, there is a magnetic pull that has always existed. Ridge's feelings for Brooke have never truly gone away, and this moment of passion reignites those emotions in full force. The night they share is intense and filled with longing, a culmination of years of unresolved tension between them. However, this passion is immediately followed by a deep sense of inner conflict for Ridge. While the night itself may have felt right in the moment, Ridge's emotional turmoil quickly becomes overwhelming. As the morning light creeps in, Ridge is faced with a difficult reality. He is not only dealing with the aftermath of a passionate encounter with Brooke, but also the emotional repercussions it has on his current life with Taylor. Ridge's heart and mind are at war. His love for Brooke, rooted in years of shared history, passion, and heartbreak, cannot be denied. Yet, he is also deeply committed to Taylor, the woman with whom he has built a life and a family. Taylor has been a constant in Ridge's life, offering him a sense of stability, love, and companionship. Their relationship has endured the test of time, and they have 2 children together, a family Ridge cherishes. Ridge's internal conflict becomes the central focus of his story. He cannot ignore his feelings for Brooke, nor can he turn his back on his family with Taylor. These 2 worlds, one filled with intense passion and unresolved history, the other built on shared responsibilities and love, are now in direct conflict. Ridge is stuck between a rock and a hard place, unable to make a clear decision. His heart is torn between his desire for Brooke and his loyalty to Taylor, creating an emotional maze that he cannot navigate easily. The choices Ridge faces are not simple. On the one hand, he could return to Brooke, rekindling their past love and embracing the passion they have always shared. But doing so would mean abandoning the life he has built with Taylor and their children. It would mean betraying the woman who has stood by him through thick and thin. On the other hand, Ridge could choose to stay with Taylor, continuing to live the life they have created together. However, the pull of his past with Brooke remains strong, and Ridge knows that he would always wonder what might have been. The idea of walking away from Brooke, knowing the deep emotional connection they share, fills him with regret and doubt. This emotional conflict reaches its peak as Ridge tries to navigate his feelings for both women. The longer he remains indecisive, the more the situation grows complicated. His guilt begins to consume him. Ridge loves Taylor, but he cannot forget the bond he shares with Brooke. As the days go by, Ridge finds himself retreating into himself, trying to figure out what is truly best for him and his family. But the more he reflects on his choices, the more he realizes that there is no easy answer. Taylor, ever the supportive and loving partner, begins to sense that something is wrong. She knows Ridge better than anyone, and she can tell that his behavior has changed. Ridge becomes distant and withdrawn, and Taylor's intuition tells her that there is more to his actions than he is letting on. Taylor's feelings of betrayal grow as she struggles to understand what is going on. She knows that Ridge has always been torn between his love for Brooke and his commitment to her, but she never imagined that he would be tempted to walk away from their family. Taylor's heartbreak is palpable as she grapples with the growing suspicion that Ridge's heart may no longer be fully hers. Brooke, for her part, knows that Ridge is conflicted, but she also sees this as an opportunity. Her deep love for Ridge has never faded, and she believes that their reunion could lead to something more lasting. She understands the emotional complexity of the situation, but cannot ignore the passion they shared. For Brooke, this night with Ridge is not just a fleeting moment. It is a chance to rebuild their relationship, to finally be with the man she has always loved. She is willing to fight for Ridge, even if it means facing the consequences of her actions and the pain it causes Taylor. Brooke's emotions, too, are in turmoil, but her desire to be with Ridge overrides her guilt. She believes that their bond is too strong to be ignored, and she is determined to rekindle what they once had. The tension between the three of them becomes unbearable as Ridge is forced to confront his feelings head-on. Taylor, aware that something has changed between them, begins to push Ridge for answers. She cannot stand the distance between them any longer and demands that he be honest with her about his feelings. This confrontation is emotionally charged, with Taylor desperately trying to understand why Ridge seems so distant and torn. Ridge, caught in the middle, struggles to express the complexity of his emotions. He does not want to hurt Taylor, but he knows that the situation cannot remain unresolved. His indecisiveness only adds to the tension, and as he tries to explain himself, he only causes more confusion and pain for Taylor. Brooke, too, presses Ridge for answers, sensing that the emotional bond they shared is still very much alive. She pushes him to make a decision, to finally choose her over Taylor. Brooke's feelings are raw, and she is determined not to lose Ridge again. The competition between Brooke and Taylor grows more intense, with both women vying for Ridge's heart and the life they each believe they deserve. Their rivalry, fueled by years of shared history, passion, and heartbreak, reaches new heights as each woman tries to claim Ridge for herself. Ridge, unable to handle the pressure from both women, begins to withdraw even more. He isolates himself, retreating into his work and his thoughts, trying to find clarity in the midst of the emotional chaos. His confusion deepens as he contemplates the future of his family, his love life, and his own sense of self. The weight of his responsibilities as a father and partner weighs heavily on him, and he finds himself unable to reconcile the two sides of his heart. Each decision seems to carry irreversible consequences, and Ridge is consumed by guilt and fear of making the wrong choice. As the days go by, the drama escalates. Ridge's emotional turmoil affects everyone around him, creating a ripple effect that reverberates through the Forrester family. The uncertainty surrounding his relationship with Taylor and Brooke threatens to tear the family apart. The tension is palpable and the stakes are higher than ever. Ridge must ultimately decide whether to stay with the family he has built with Taylor or to return to the woman he has never truly stopped loving, Brooke. But the consequences of his decision will be far-reaching, affecting not only his future, but the future of those he holds dear. The situation is tragic in its complexity, as each character grapples with love, betrayal, and the desire for something more. Ridge's journey is one of self-discovery, one that forces him to face the realities of his heart and the weight of his responsibilities. The choices he makes will define the course of his life, and in doing so, he will determine the fate of the Forrester family. As the bold and the beautiful continues to unfold, Ridge's emotional struggle will only intensify, and the impact of his decision will send shockwaves through the lives of all involved. The story of love, loss, and redemption is far from over, and the path ahead is filled with uncertainty and heartbreak.